Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new Sunday night show. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you've enjoyed all the tips that we've had on this week. And hopefully we got some good talking points on tonight. We are going to be joined by club golfer Josh. He will be joining us ASAP. He's on the technical difficulties this week. It's not me, before anybody says. It's not me. It was me last few times. I do admit that. It was me times. But it's not me this time. Just want to say, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you do like the content, don't be shy. Give it a bit of a thumbs up. I would really love that. So, coming up on today's show, we're going to discuss the big talking point here. Everybody, smash those comments down below. Let me know you're listening. It'd be great to see who's listening in here tonight. We're going to be discussing Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed, what do we think of that? Big talking points. Big talking points. We're also going to be talking about the RNA and the USGA. Are they ruining golf? Are they ruining golf? It's a big one, this one, because I think it's a massive one. I'm not going to go into what I think right now. You have to listen to that one and find out. Also, would you prefer to play in the wind or the rain? It's a question that I've been asking a lot on the channel right now, and a lot of people have been answering it. Not the version I thought, against what I've been saying anyway. Also, best golf course in your country, from wherever you're listening from. And finally, number 5 is questions from you. Any questions that you've got, fire them in, get them down below, because we're going to be going through your questions at the end of today's show. So, hello everybody, beginner golfer here. Welcome. John's in, Steve's in, Bill's in, Carlo's in. Smash those comments down below where you're listening from. Hi Chris, welcome. Like I say, we are going to be joined by Josh. We're going to be doing a live stream. As I mentioned at the start, he's the one having the technical difficulties. But we're going to start. Leon, South Africa. Leopard Creek. By the way, on that point in Leopard Creek, I saw a mad video. The Kruger National Park was like, I remember going where, I think it's the 13th, the par 5, around the corner. It's literally underwater right now. I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So let's start on this one. Oliver's already gone in here with everything that we're talking about. Patrick Reed is a cheater and will never support a cheater. What do you think on this matter? What do you think? Do you think he cheated? Do you think he was just using the rules to his advantage? Or do you think he just didn't know what was going on? Hi, Steve. Hi, John. Hi, Bill. Hi, Stuart. Hi, Shane, Oliver, Leon. Right, we're in here. We're in. Josh is in. Josh, you're live. Welcome. Once you turn your screen on, you're going to be in here live. So we'll be just started talking about this. So as soon as you're in here, Josh's audio is now in. We want to hear. We don't want to see in 77. Let's get your face on here.
There we go.
There he is. We've just been saying that you're the one with the technical difficulties, mate, not me this week.
I know. I do apologise, everyone. I've had an absolute nightmare.
He doesn't know what he's doing with technology. We'll let him off. Okay, so Josh, we're just getting into the whole debate here on Patrick Reed.
Okay.
We're basically saying, do we think it's him knowing what he's doing? Do we think it's him bending the rules, or is he outright cheating?
Personally, I think, well, for starters, there's no smoke without fire. So he's got a bit of form for it, which is his issue totally. You've done it before. People are instantly going to think about that. Yeah. Secondly, and this was pointed out to me by a follower of the podcast, they messaged me and they said, well, why is he asking that question? The first thing he does, did that ball bounce, or however he phrased it, it's almost like he's instantly thinking of an advantage. I understand as a sportsman, that's important, and he's trying to get an advantage at any way he can. But the ball bounce, like, it's very unlikely that it's embedded. It was just all a bit suspect from it. That was the thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really suspect. And like you say, no smoke without fire, but he didn't see it bounce. And could you say that, I mean, if you think about it this way, if you are a person in the crowd, you're a spectator, Patrick Reed's walking up to you, obviously a Masters champion, and you might get a bit intimidated. You just be like,
yeah,
I don't really know.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, that volunteer, whoever it was that he spoke to, may have not seen it bounce. They may have been facing the other way. They may not even seen the ball. Like, do you know what I mean? They may not have found it, but it was all very, how is like very quick to sort of mark the ball, pick the ball up. And I know you can do that. I know he's not breaking rules and doing that, but the fact that even the players have come out and said stuff, it just stinks a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's two contrasting things here. Steve A's put, golf is governed by integrity. So the real question is, does Reed have integrity? Mr. B then put in the comment straight after this, at the end of the day, the officials said he didn't do anything wrong, which you have to say he didn't do anything wrong in terms of officials. They were happy with it. But I think he's definitely flawed himself, and he's got that mark next to his name, like say from previous allegations and now this one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we spoke about it on the pod that was out on Wednesday. We said that we've seen it before where players have almost manipulated officials, like, and not necessarily to the point of cheating, but they're sort of telling them what is going on. Where actually, I think in that situation, it needs to be the official leading the way. But like you said, it's gaining advantage. Has he technically done anything wrong? No. But then why are players coming out saying what they said? Like Xander Schauffele saying, always protected by the PGA. Like, it just stinks, doesn't it? It just stinks.
You know what? It'd be interesting to see, like, when he's walking down that range, has he got many friends out on tour now? I'm sure he seems one of them characters who probably doesn't like to have many friends or doesn't have many friends in general. No offense to Patrick Reed. But no, he seems like quite a person who's quite focused on what he's doing, doing. He doesn't need anybody else apart from his team around him. That's probably what I think and what I kind of see as an outsider looking in that. No,
I agree. I think it's almost like any sportsman is really, any individual sportsman is, I'm here for me. I'm going to do the best I can do. I don't care about anyone else, which is fair enough, 100% fair enough. Like, that's the way he wants to be. That's how he dials himself in. That's absolutely fine. But it's when you've had the previous for it and all that, and players are saying stuff, it's not performed very well this weekend in Saudi. Is that going to get to him? That would be what I say.
Yeah, I think it's got to. No matter if you're thick-skinned, you can only be so thick-skinned in sort of those scenarios. Right, Josh, definitely. We're going to go on to a different conversation here. We're going to move off this one because I don't like talking about Patrick Reed in a bad light.
Please.
Behave. Okay, so we're going to talk now. Point number 2, guys, get in those comments. If you are enjoying this content, please do hit that thumbs up button as well. Welcome to the channel if you're brand new. So, question we've got to you right now. Are the RNA and the USGA ruining the game? I mean, I could go in on this. And if you let me go in a second, everybody, I might just absolutely go in on this because bifurcation should just be the word of biffing it. So Bryson hits it a long way, in my opinion.
Mate, I'm going to have to rein him in a minute if he gets going. Like, you went off on the product on Wednesday, but rightly so, in my opinion. Rightly so. I think it's ridiculous personally. It's almost like you make the joke all the time about me and Bryson, but we've said it all along that he's making the game better, and he is like the game. Like we said on Wednesday, the game of golf has profited and got improved because of the current situation. More people playing. It was the first sport to come back, and Bryson's come back and he's changed the game. Changed the game massively.
You only have to look on social media how many people are now talking about Bryson. Probably not even that golfers. It might sound crazy, this. I mean, he's not won anywhere near as much as Tiger. Tiger was probably the first household name in golf. But the fact of how much he's on social media, how much he's in the media eye, how far he hits it, it's insane. But the thing is that I'm going to say, so guys, get in the comments. What do you think about this whole thing? Should they rein the equipment back in? Should we play off different equipment? Shouldn't we? It's a big talking point. But my opinion with this is, right, I saw some crazy stat, and me and Josh have talked about this before.
Yeah.
That Bryce, and don't quote me on this, everybody, but Bryson, out of 1,000 putts, he only missed something like something crazy. It was like 92% of putts made, it was inside 12 feet. That is crazy.
It was 91.2% he made.
Wow, thanks, mate.
And he missed something like, no, but you're right, he missed something like 92, but he missed a ridiculous amount of putts, like ridiculously small amount of putts. The guy's a joke. But what seems to have happened is he's turned up, he absolutely biffs it every single hole, and everyone's forgotten the fact that he's still got to get the ball in the hole, still got to get on the green to get the ball in the hole. Right? And I think part of this comes from the fact that the USGA set up wing foot so he couldn't do that. And he rocked up and he stood there in an interview and went, oh, well, all the players are going to tail it back. I'm absolutely not. I'm going to hit it as far as I can and wedge on. And he won the event, and they obviously hate it. They obviously hate it.
Yeah. Well, Steve Brown has put a point in here. Steve Brown said, is the same at Bryson. I 100% think the RNA and the USGA are aiming it at Bryson or the bigger hitters of the game. He said, Bryson won the US Open with an average drive of 325 yards, right? Okay. In 1995, John Daly won with an average drive of 315 yards. Now, in that space of time, people would argue that the technology has moved on more than 10 yards. Just going to put that out there. More than 10 yards, right? Tighten up courses. Look at what they did at Valderrama. It's a true point. Valderrama, no one ever tears it up. Greens are rock hard. Greens are crazy fast. You go in the rough, it's like game over. Now, for me, in my opinion, with all this there's a few things that scare me with this. If you're a young, good amateur golfer, at what point do you change your ball? At what point do you change your clubs? Okay, so you're then, as a club golfer, you're then going to buy golf clubs that the pros are using, but not going to buy them now because they're not actually using them. You're also, all you're going to do is, if you think about it this way, Rory, Bryson, JT, Dustin, John Ram, they're always going to hit it a long way, no matter what golf ball they're using. So all you're going to do is make it harder for the people that aren't as long on tour. Like you like Soren Kelsen, like he's never been a big player, never been a long player, won the Irish Open, won multiple times on tour, very, very good player, and found the art of getting it around the golf course. You're going to lose that if the ball is even shorter, because the golf courses have been made longer up to this point because of the new technology.
Exactly. And like, for me, like Matt Fitzpatrick came out and said early in, well, it was last season now, came out and sort of complaining about Bryson. I can't keep up with him. I can't do this. I've got no chance of winning. Well, they're going to bring the equipment back in and rein everything in, but Bryson's still going to swing it quicker than anyone.
Yeah.
Like Bryson, I'm still going to swing it quicker than everyone. I'm still going to hit it further. It's just because you change my equipment, you change everyone else's equipment.
Yeah.
Like, so Matt Fitzpatrick is just going to be even further back, or an equal amount back. Because
sounds like he's calling him out there, everybody, doesn't
it? We've been through this before.
Josh called Matt Fitzpatrick out once. Next week went and won. Cheers, Josh.
Cheers.
But it's interesting, this. We would love to know what your opinion on this is. I'm very much against changing it. I really like to see people hit it a long way. I enjoy watching that. I enjoy seeing people hit it a long way and wedge it on. And it's part of the modern game, I think. But what is your opinion on this? Get in those comments, because I think it's a really big talking point. Rory's come out and said they shouldn't do it. JT's come out and said they shouldn't do it. Webb Simpson came out with a thing of agreeing with Steve here in terms of like tighten up golf courses, make the rough thicker, make the fairways narrower. All these things are actually probably a lot easier to do than change all the equipment. Like JT's point, well, I'm saying JT like I know
like you know him, your best mate.
Got my but my point with this is like each year all this R&D goes into improving everything. But one thing the one thing they're forgetting is there's no limit on the amount of science that can go into making somebody faster, fitter, stronger, and better in like the kind of body side of things, which ultimately is what Bryson's done. Like John said here, Bryson's worked hard to hit it further. Fair play to him. Don't change anything. I agree, John. Steve's saying here, Jack Nicklaus has been saying for years, scale back the ball, no one's listened. So maybe Steve's thinking that potentially it should be the other way around. John Jones, if it's not fixed, don't break it. If it's not, don't. If it's not broke,
don't fix it.
I 100% agree. 110% agree.
Same. Like you look at the thing that annoys me about it. DJ hits it a mile. Rory hits it a mile. Rahm hits it a mile. Finau hits it a mile. Justin Thomas hits it a mile. Yeah. But Bryson's gone away, changed his body, got fitter, got stronger, got bigger, come back, use the same equipment that they use, just hits it that little bit further. Why are they not looking at DJ? Why did DJ last year or year before, why was it not going on about him? Why are they not doing it about Tony Finau who hits it a mile or John Rahm? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they've got a scapegoat because he's changed the game.
Yeah.
In the sense of his game and how he plays. And I personally think, like 2018 in Hawaii, we were talking about this. Justin Johnson drove a par 4 green to this far.
So can I just clarify? We weren't in Hawaii. We weren't in Hawaii. We wish we were in Hawaii.
No, wish we were in Hawaii. But we were talking about it the other day. He drove a par 4 green to this far from the hole. Who's complaining? I'm not complaining. I think it's amazing. But why when Bryson's doing it, are people kicking off? Or the USGA kicking off?
Steve's just made a great point here. Bryson doesn't win every week because he's still got areas of his game to work on. Couldn't agree more. Right. DJ is long, but doesn't have as many areas of his game to work on as Bryson. Wins more often because he's got better all-round game. In my opinion, right, the longest hitters have always won more on tour. Arnold Palmer, one of the longest hitters, won a lot. There's a few people within history that weren't the longest hitters who still won a lot on tour. But if you look over the years, the longest players have always won, but the most complete players have won the most.
Exactly.
And that part of that complete modern game is hitting it a long way, biffing it.
Exactly. And correct me if I'm wrong, when Tiger came onto the scene, was he hitting it further? Compared to some players, most probably.
I would have. It's probably John Daly was probably one of the ones at the time who was probably the only one, if not a few, that were longer than him.
So why is no one complaining about that? Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost it really winds me up actually, because I turn on to watch it.
It's more measurable now, isn't it? Though you've got more stats on TV all the time. You've got more of these things that are measurable. It's more on social media. It's more in the media eye. It's more in our eye all the time. That's what I think. Okay, 100%. Let's move on to the next point. I know we said about questions from you guys at the end, but before we go on to our next question and our fourth question, we want to hear some questions from you. Fire some questions. So just to put it in context here, Josh, club golfer, what did you start the year on this year? You've only played like 5 comps. You've dropped to 10. So what did you start the year on?
So I started 13. The new handicap system came in, and my handicap didn't change, but then they cut me to 10 after winning a few events. So
how would you feel if someone new joined your golf club and won 3 times in the trot? You wouldn't be very happy, would you?
But to put context to it, I have been in and out of work due to the situation. I've never ever played as much golf as I'm doing now. So
you make yourself feel better about the whole situation.
I'd be worried if I wasn't playing that well.
It's true. Unfortunately, whatever way around want to do it, you've managed to play a lot of golf. Okay, beginner golf has got a question. Have you ever played with the Cobra F6 irons? I know I haven't. I'm going to say, Josh, you probably haven't, no?
Nope, haven't done. The only Cobra stuff I've used is the F9, and I've hit your irons, that's it.
Yeah, and which he's loving my irons. He's like, when are you getting new irons? When are you getting new irons?
Exactly.
So, guys, fire those questions down in below. We really want to answer as many questions as we can throughout this. If you keep firing them down below, we will answer as many questions. So, the next question I've got is, Josh, and everybody listening, would you rather play in the wind or the rain?
100% the rain.
Now, I put this out on a video about 2 or 3 days ago, and it was a very contrasting answer to what you just said. Everybody was saying wind all day long.
No, you see, my opinion on it is the wind will affect the way I play a lot more than the rain will. Once I'm wet, I'm wet.
Yeah, as long as you've got the gear. I think the gear is a big thing.
Exactly. But here's my little tip to not getting as wet when it's raining. Don't use your brolly. Try and avoid using your brolly as much as you can. Because putting it up, putting it down, getting it in, getting it out, you get more wet, guaranteed.
Have you ever heard anything so much ludicrous in your life, everybody? Right.
It's true, especially if you're carrying. If you're carrying, it's a pain. I
apologise. You came here for some good sound advice this evening, and you're not getting it. Okay, we're getting some questions in here, Josh. So, I'm going to pick out, we're going to go in order. I'm going to find where I was. Carlo Golf said, I'm going to hit my fitting for new clubs next month. Any tips? So on that point, Carlo, this is how I'd go about it. You want to go in there very much open-minded. I would go in there not thinking about getting an actual brand or any brand in particular. I'd go in there with a budget, because everybody's got a budget when we go out. Make sure you get the right loft, right lie angle, right length of shaft, right shaft in your clubs, and then hone in on a brand, hone in on a look of a club. It's like, Josh, what clubs are you using right now? Because you're not using what people would necessarily say as, oh, it's a big brand of club to use.
No. So my irons are Rife irons. So basically, American Golf own irons, aren't they, in a sense? And I'm playing some of the best golf I've ever played. So my opinion on it is, do I think that if I got fitted for a set of clubs, it'd suit me better? Probably. But you don't have to spend the big bucks to play good golf. Definitely not.
I agree. I think the one thing I'd say to Josh is, though, as he gets better, as it's single figures, the better he's going to become, the more he's going to want his equipment honing on his game. If you're somebody watching this right now, you're thinking of dabbling in golf or just starting in golf, I would always, if I guess the word is, if money's not an option, go and get fitted. If you want to just get a good set of irons, get a rough idea of what's good for you, make sure you're hitting them out the center. So maybe test with a bit of face tape or something like that. That's probably a cheap, quick alternative way for doing that. But yeah, go through that process. Make sure if you're going for that fitting, you're not going in there with, I need that brand, because you're going to channel your focus in on that rather than going there open-minded, hit whatever is put in front of you and choose the best club that way. Yeah,
I'd agree.
Okay, Josh, best ball in golf in your opinion? We know the answer to this one, everybody. Bloody hell.
See, I'm a Bridgestone guy. I use a Bridgestone XR. However, I know you're going to disagree with me.
Guys, what ball do you use? What golf ball do you use? I'm actually, funnily enough, I've said this before on here, Josh, like, I didn't use a Pro V up. This probably gets shorter and shorter distance every time I say it. So someone's going to go, why you didn't say that last time? I use a Pro V up until roughly around about 3 years ago. I'm going to say roughly. I used a Strixon Z Start until then and the XV. And then I changed into the Pro V1X. That's what I now use. I've seen them all come in now. Beginner Golfer Pro V, Carlo Pro V. So yeah, fire down below what golf ball you think. In my opinion, it's going to be so boring. I'm going to have to go Pro V1X. It's the best ball in my opinion because it's the best ball for my game.
Yeah, see, this is the thing though. We did a bit of a test, didn't we, earlier this week on different balls, and Pro V1 is not necessarily the longest ball, especially from that 8-iron test that we did. In fact, it was probably one of the short ones, but it's the feel that you get around the green. I'm assuming it's why you enjoy it.
It's also the golfer. No, I'm joking. Yeah. No, but you're right. Like if you were to get a ball that's more of a two-piece golf ball, it probably will fly a little bit further, a little bit harder, but then the feel around the greens will be dramatically lost.
This is like we've talked about this before, and the question that I would pose is, does it really matter? Yes, okay, there's certain fields and certain balls feel better and look better, but like you said before to me, Alex, Titleist swapped their balls over a few years ago.
Yeah, I do question this every time.
Swap the Pro V with the Pro V1X. So what difference does it make? So I know obviously there'll be a difference between like a Pinnacle Gold and a TP5 and things like that, but those top balls are probably all very, very similar.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going for a premium golf ball, no matter what brand, personally, if you blindfolded me, I probably couldn't tell you what it was. I'm not probably about it. I couldn't tell you what it was. But here's a question. We're going to go past this. What do you prefer, feel over yards or yards over feel?
I personally think that obviously if you can get both is great, but I think I would
allow both. That's not the question, Josh. That's not the question. You got to answer the question.
All right. To answer the question, I would go yard because if I'm go on.
No, go on. No, I was going
to say because if I'm closer to the hole, it's probably going to be easier.
Yeah, but you can't feel. How can you get advantage of the chip? Whereas my theory is I would always go feel potentially because you're always going to be able to get something then towards the green for your second shot, but you can have a little bit more touch with your third. Just my opinion.
Very good point. Alternatively, 5 Bridgestone and you get both.
Josh has shares in Bridgestone, if anybody. He's put
that
many.
Okay.
Next question here, Josh. Next question. Before we go on to another point. Dennis Pedersen asks here, do you think one length irons are a fad or not? Do you think more manufacturers will start making them? There's a big question here because the only manufacturers that are making them, I think Ben Hogan have done a set of one length irons. Don't quote me on that, but I know there's one brand that have, and obviously Cobra have, but nobody else has really dabbled in that market. Now, when Cobra backed Bryson, it was a big move that. And for me, like I use one length irons. You tried my one length irons.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So my opinion on it is once you get used to using the one length, I personally think they can be a game changer, big time. So my irons that I use are just standard irons, standard length, etc., etc. I've used Alex's a few times, and after 10, 15 shots, you start to see the difference in the sense of every setup's the same. It makes it a lot easier, and even like some distances, you got to get used to the distances, and because they change. But I think, especially even from a beginner golfer, it might be a good route to go down because it's easier.
I've said this for a while. Like, imagine being brand new to the game, right? You set up to the golf club the same every single time. You hit the golf ball the same position every single time. Now, funnily enough, I'm one of them golfers who doesn't go down that route of keeping the ball position the same. I feel that the ball won't get in the air, personally, with the long irons if I don't do that. So I'm a golfer that does change it and does move that ball position further forward as I go through the bag. Okay, I'm just going to, Neil, you asked a question here. And Neil, I was meaning if I was blindfolded, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. I'm sure if I had them down in front of me and I was picking a shot and playing a shot, I would definitely be able to tell you the difference. But if someone just told me to hit that golf ball away with a particular club, I couldn't tell the difference. If you asked me to hit several short game shots around the green with no logos on the ball, I would tell you the difference of what was a softer ball, harder ball, whatever that is. Okay, on to the next question, guys. I keep saying this, but without your help, this video doesn't get shared. This video doesn't get out there to everybody. So I really would appreciate it if you could hit that big like button and join this team by hitting the subscribe button. We come every Sunday night. We go live. And also, if you want to hear more of me and Josh getting you laughing, having a bit of fun, we have the pod every single Wednesday. It's called How to Ruin a Good Walk. I think we can all say we've been in that position where we know we've ruined that good walk. We've been out on the golf course and we're thinking, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Especially when it's windy and raining and we think, could have been at home, my feet up with a broom in my hand. Okay, here we go. Next question. Number 4. Best golf course in your country. Best golf course. Go on, Josh. Best golf course. You don't have to have played it. Just like heard of, whatever.
And I haven't played it. I've been to this golf course, and without playing it, just the look of it.
I know what you're going to say right now.
Where we went with Golf Monthly.
Yeah.
That place is like, it was like being at Augusta,
West Hill,
but down south.
West Hill.
So was it? West Hill. Wow. What a place. Looks amazing.
Funnily enough, when we were there, I put it on my Instagram story and somebody messaged me saying, oh, I remember there. Honestly, one of the best places. I'm always going to say hidden gem. Gem. It is unbelievable. Like, so well kept. The tall, big pine trees. It feels like you're at somewhere very special as soon as you go in that door. Yeah,
definitely. That was an amazing place. But even places that I've played, I'd probably say the best course I've played would be at Carlton Park.
Yeah, nice golf course, nice place.
Really nice.
Just a nice place. Like, we can recommend it. Like, we went there on like a pretty much a lads weekend, all 4 of us, and played some golf, and it was great. We stayed, we played both golf courses. And it was busy, but it was really good. So we've got some more ones coming in here. Erin Hill, Celtic Manor 2020 course, Royal Liverpool, the best Neil's ever played. Neil, what a golf course that is, by the way. Neil, oh my God, that place is like so good. But if I'm going to go for a best golf course in the country, it's a toughie. It's a real toughie. I'm gonna have to go Hillside. It's like such like a not a cop out answer, but it's like links, home of golf kind of thing. Honestly, the people say this, right? It's got one of the best back nines. I've played this golf course. I've carried around this golf course, and I went to watch the British Masters around this golf course, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was one of the best golf courses that I've played, seen, been around. Got great spectator points up on the side. I just don't know. I mean, I know why they've not had an Open there. It's just not a big enough facility to have it.
Yeah. See, back on what Neil said, the thing, I'd love to go and play that Royal Liverpool and all that. I'd love to do that, but part of me feels like I would get absolutely eaten up by those golf courses. Like,
yeah, I think,
I think I'm okay at golf. I feel like I'm all right at golf, and I could potentially hold my own. But
all right.
No, I'm not saying that.
What if you times at his home club and he thinks it's all right? Come on, guys, let's give him some crap here.
I think being stood on the first tee, I'd be intimidated by that. 100%.
Oh, definitely. It's a few reasons why you'd be intimidated if you're there. It's like, one, obviously they're expensive to go and play, so you're standing on there thinking, bloody hell, I've paid all this money to go and play. I've got to play some good golf. And then also the fact that it is tough. You've got the wind, you've probably got the rain in northwest England, and some of the carries will be long, the heather will be thick, the greens will be tough. If you're not on your game, no matter what level you are, it's one of them golf courses that will eat you up alive.
Yeah, 100%. Golf courses where you're taking more than one box of balls.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think you take a trolley, take one for the team. Everybody, can we take a trolley here and we hit one of us puts all the balls in there?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you're frozen there, Josh. Don't worry about it.
I'm back.
Okay, guys, you're back. Fire some questions in down below. We've got 5 minutes left on tonight's live stream. We'll go a bit 5 minutes longer because Josh was 5 minutes late.
Sorry, we'll have again.
No, I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. Okay, so Josh, what have you been working on in your golf game? This is interesting, because you come from quite a sporty background, played lacrosse. What are you working on your golf game right now?
The big thing that we've been working on with me is swaying in the golf swing. I have got a tendency to get like very sway, especially on my downswing. So it's working those hips more than anything else. We did the whole strengthening the club face. We've done that. I feel like I'm in a good place with that. It's more the swaying into the golf ball now that we're working on.
Yeah, and it's not easy. I think what Josh will say to everybody is that no matter what level of golfer you are, and because I teach Josh, but Josh is very good at putting it across in kind of what you guys might be feeling, the questions that you guys might be asking is, it takes time for you to make a change, especially a downswing change. Yeah. Josh is like, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but we very much work towards feelings, and Josh feels things and tries things, and that's the best way to go about it. This is a really great question in here from Carlo, Josh. He put, what do you feel before each shot? This is, I think, a question to both of us here. Are you focusing on an image, like imagining your shot? Is your mind completely blank, or have you got a swing thought? I've had the last bit in there, swing thought. Or have you got just technical thought? So we'll go this way. I'll rephrase this. What do you feel before a shot? Yep. Do you picture the shot? Is your mind blank, or are you massively technically focused on what you're doing right now? Guys, before Josh answers, and I'm going to answer as well how I would play a shot, get in those comments down below, because we want to know how you're playing a shot right now, because what I'm about to tell you, I think, is a really pivotal question on actually improving your golf game.
Yeah, definitely.
Bill's put, I feel like I need to get a shot over with so I can get back to my beverage. Bill, what beverage you're going for?
See, my thing on it, and this again is something that we've worked on, having a pre-shot routine that you do the same every single time is key. And I found that that's helped me to improve to the level, the handicap that I'm at now. I think that was really, really pivotal.
What are you doing? Are you focusing on a shot? Are you focusing on nothing? Or are you focusing on technical? What are you doing before you shot?
See, I think it depends on the situation. So my routine would be stand behind the ball, picture the shot. Think about what I want to do. Okay, I can't necessarily every single time draw or fade the ball perfectly. I can't. I'm not at that level yet. It's something that I'm working on in my game. But like you always say, like, golf is about feeling. So it's almost if I stand there and say I've got to hit it slightly off the left. Okay, my thought process is, what do I have to do that? What do I have to feel to do that? That would be my thought process. But then when I step over that line into, I've done my practice swing, I step over that line to hitting the ball, it's just, right, just hit the ball. You've done your thinking, you know what you want to do, you've set up right, hit the ball. And the odd occasion it'd be, think about your hips, that'd be it.
Trusting what you've been taught, trusting what you're feeling, trusting what you practice. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So we've got Neil said swing thought, picture, practice swing, and then nothing over the ball. Very much similar to what Josh is saying right there. The question I'm going to pose to everybody right now before I give you my answer is, if I put you in the trees and asked you to hit a low one underneath a branch, 90% of golfers, I believe, would do it. They'd put themselves in that scenario. They'd organise their body differently in setup. They'd organise their swing differently, keep that ball lower. And at that point, you wouldn't actually have that much going on through your head. You'd just play the shot and picture that image. Now, it's a lot harder to be that descriptive in your brain when you've got middle of the fairway, 130, 150 yards towards green. And they're those shots that I think if a lot of club golfers and myself can hit the green, we become a lot happy about our round. We see some lower scores. So my process with it is I'll always have like 2 practice swings. My first one being an exaggerated feeling to what I'd be practicing. My second one is then me asking myself a question, what shot do I see? So I'm almost playing a shot out in front of me. And as I go over the golf ball, I've got one swing thought, very similar to Josh. Coincidence? No. To what actually happens.
Yeah, and a key that I would say, and something that's really helped me improve, is not taking too much time. So keeping it quite quick, like quite short, not standing over the ball for ages. Yeah, like, and someone that, this is okay, very, very different levels, but someone that does this, who is at the top of the game, Dustin Johnson. He looks at everything, does all these calculations, everything, stands over the ball, hits the ball, doesn't stand there waiting, waggling. And that is something that I have found has helped me, is just once I'm ready, just hit the ball. Just hit the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree. When you're ready, you've got to go. Okay, so the final point of today's session is, this video was called The Year That Changes Golf Forever. So if the R&A and the USGA get their way and do bring in this bifurcation and change up the game, does it change golf forever? Does it change golf forever? I want to know what your opinion is, Josh. I want to know what your opinion is if you're listening right now, because I think it does. I'm going to be right out there and say, yes, this changes golf forever.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think it changes it for the better. I think it changes it for the worse. I think you are highlighting something that doesn't need to be highlighted. I think you are, put it this way, I turn the golf on to watch players hit it a million miles. I don't turn the golf on. Okay, the shots around the green and those that bit of feel and those shots are amazing. But I want to see greens being driven. I want to see Bryson taking an iron on a par 4 and hitting it on the green. Like, it's amazing to watch. And I think if you change it that much, okay, he's going to hit a driver and he might be on there, or it's more the why change it when you are doing so well as a sport. That's my opinion.
No, I completely agree, mate. I'm very much in the same boat. I'd echo exactly what Josh said here. And Dennis put, it changed nothing. Was anyone using a driver longer than 46 inches? I don't think anybody was, like, until Bryson sort of started pushing the envelope on it.
I think Phil Mickelson used it. I think he's done it, but I think it's like Bryson was testing it, and he even come out and said it didn't work for him. So, but it's not even that though. It's the fact of changing the rules for pros as to amateurs. That's what the bifurcation is. You're changing rules for both. So, like you said on Wednesday, at what point, as an amateur that's looking to go pro, do you change your equipment?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Honestly, my mind is baffled because I just have no idea how that would work. Bill's put here, the R&A basically say USGA and R&A wouldn't change. It'll only change in the future until the young ones of today take charge. I completely agree. I think this is one of those things where golf needs to wake up, and realised that this year, especially, I'm going to speak just on behalf of the UK here, I can't believe how many people have picked up the game of golf. And I think it probably echoes itself around the world. We need to embrace it. We need to be forward thinking. We need to allow hoodies. We need to allow all these things. Now, if you're listening right now, you're probably like saying, well, Alex, you're a bit wrong on that. I agree with you in that sense of I want to keep traditions. I think golf is a very much tradition sport. It's built on integrity. It's built on the history. But history sometimes has to change. We have to be welcoming more and more people into this game.
Yep, I completely agree. I think that it is. I'm glad you mentioned the hoodies because I was going to mention that. I think things like that, like the clothing. Right now. Exactly, like the clothing. Why not? Why not wear a hoodie? It's not. Yeah. It's not like untidy. Like you said before, that there's some people that turn up in the bloody gardening clothes. Like it's not that bad. And I think golf changing and evolving is key. And I think the point that was made in the comment about it needs the younger people to take over is right. Like why does it have to be the same? Why can't the sport change? Because it's changing for the better. It's not getting worse, is it? The game's getting better with people in it further. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Dennis is here, and I teach Dennis, so he's playing here. What is golf coming to? Hoodies and 400-yard drives, lol. I know what you mean, Dennis. I know what you mean. But I'm just talking on the way of the fact that trying to include more people into the game. And Stephen Brown said here, it's a great point. The only really reason why irons have been going longer over the years is the fact that the lofts have got stronger. Your 9-iron is now probably around like an 8-iron or 7-iron loft. These things are changing. The fact that we're having these conversations is a good sign for golf. Perfect, Dennis. I totally agree. So, guys, thank you so much for listening tonight. That was really, really good fun. Some really good points there. And I feel like we've really gone through those points in terms of Patrick Reed. We've put the judge. I feel like Judge Judy here. We've put him to the absolute sword. We've come up with a what do you call it? A sentence. No, we haven't. No. I feel a bit too harsh.
Guilty.
We found out what we think of the RNA and the USGA and what you think of this watching it right now. Would you rather play in the rain or the wind? We've settled that debate. And the best golf course in your country. And also the questions from you guys. So just want to say thank you so much for watching tonight. We will be live again next Sunday. On a note, if you watched the video where me and Josh tested a brand new putter grip, we have some big news on a giveaway. We're going to give 5 of you a chance to win a grip each. And then on that note, one of you winning a live, not one, don't give you a live lesson, but an online lesson with the man himself, Vaughan, who has come up with this whole putting system. I think that is a really, 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 prize that money can't buy for one. Yeah. Unless you live all the way over in, I think he lives in Japan. Hong Kong, yeah. Hong Kong, you're right. Someone's laughing at my Judge Judy here. Cheers, team. Josh, you're going to laugh at this one. You'll probably use this off air as well. Judge Judy's got a better moustache than me. Thanks. So, guys, stick around for that giveaway. We've also got a big Bryson view into hitting it a long way. Me and Josh take on each other this Friday on a showdown on who can hit it the furthest, which is going to be a really good fun video. As well as that, we've got tips going to be coming out every single day this week. Practical things, short game, long game, irons, downswing, backswing. As you know, every single day, some fun tips for you. Also, news on me getting a golf lesson. Stick around for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you next week. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That's all. Cheers, pal.